Hi everyone. Today let's take a quick look at the markets.
Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started.
Starting off with fear and greed, you can see we're back into an extreme greed at a 75, so we dipped down briefly to a 71 from a 74 a week ago, and now we're back to extreme greed. All of the metrics are back into extreme greed except for strength. Strength has actually pulled back here slightly despite markets hovering at all-time highs. Breadth continues to kind of swing back up a little bit. Put call ratio, extreme greed there as well. Volatility continuing to move lower. Safe haven demand, extreme greed, and junk bonds still hovering in greed. Moving over to the economic calendar, we did get home starts, which were a little bit worse than expectations on the month over month. Headline number a little bit better at 1.35, and then Atlanta Fed GDP still pretty good there at 3.4, and that'll wrap it up for this week. Then moving over to the charts here, you can see we did get an update, 0.38, but really it was an inside candle. We're still in the exact same range that we've been in. Nothing has changed with the thesis. Gap up and fell yesterday, gapped up and held today. Momentum basically flat, RSI still flat, so very little change. And then looking at it here on the short time frame, you can see we did get that little bit of grind up like we thought we were going to get. The question is, do we hit this resistance here and then reject from there, or is it going to drift higher through that? Based on what we said yesterday, we're expecting a rejection from there, but seems like it's holding in the region and kind of grinding a little bit higher in the after hours. See how it pushes into the Monday session. Moving over to the NASDAQ, pretty much the same thesis, gapped up right to the trend line, held the inside candle. Not really as close to the previous highs as the SPY. Momentum flat, RSI flat, just barely above the SMA, but still sideways choppy really. Can't get any higher, can't break resistance, still sideways choppy action. And then looking at it here on the hourly chart, you can see we did get that follow through, bunch of wicks to the level that I was watching. That was at 495.38. Ended up rejecting from there, holding in the middle of this range I was watching going into yesterday's session. So momentum basically flat, RSI basically flat, still no clear direction. Holding the trend, so based on that, you would expect another continuation up to that 498.44 level. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow was slightly positive, 0.08, still hitting on that trend line, still cannot get above it. Momentum and RSI still bullish. And then it got the IWM down 0.21 on the day, broke my level 226.02 to the downside. That is not what I wanted to see. Momentum basically flat, but technically a step down. RSI still bullish. Maybe we can pull back to here and hold the trend here at 223.73 over the next 2 days potentially. Really wanted to see that level hold, get the continuation, but right now it seems like we're in a little bit of a topping pattern. Still held my trading range. My low that I was watching was here at 225.41. But that close on the low was not looking very good. So maybe we see a little bit more pullback there on the Russell. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft, Apple was up 1.23%. So this is still in this bullish thesis. We got the gap up and rally, retraced the trend, held support, gapped up and fell. And then we ended up getting another gap up and fall, but it was a pretty strong one. Still looking to retest that 237.23. So this is still a bullish thesis, momentum bullish, RSI bullish. And then looking at Microsoft, really no change to the thesis here. Still inside of this wedge, waiting to see which direction this breaks. I still think it's going to break down, but hasn't really done anything yet. Moving over to Amazon and Alphabet. Amazon ended up getting back above the level 188.61. So we were looking at a breakdown retest, and then we ended up getting back above it. Momentum still swinging to bullish. RSI looking a little bit better here above the level. I'm still not sure really where this is going to go. I'm still looking at it as a high, lower high. Are we going to retest and then break down? You could argue low, higher low here. So kind of in that same wedging formation, need to add some trend lines for that lower wedge, but still in that same kind of region, hasn't really done anything. And then looking at Alphabet, same thesis. It broke the level yesterday, and I thought we might get a little bit of follow through on that. Ended up gapping back above it and then basically staying flat right at that level, right at VWAP at 164.98. Moving over to oil and gas and gold, we got oil and gas falling a little bit back below my level 135.07. So still in the same consolidation, momentum slightly bearish, RSI slightly bearish. The question is this going to hold the higher low, higher low, higher low here? And then we're going to get a swing up. right now doesn't look like it. Needs to hold the level, needs to get back above the 21 EMA, which doesn't look like that's working out right now. And then you got gold. We talked about this being a very bullish setup. It's had a strong continuation, hit my price target at 250. The trend is all the way up here around 255, so maybe it has some more in it. Strong day there at 1% up. Moving over to RIOT and Mara, both of these having strong days, 7.17 and 4.34%. Both of these continuing this really strong run. 200 SMA there at 1035. That's your next target after breaking the 144. And then similarly here on Mara, 1878 was the level, broke that, looking for that 200, up at 19.36. Moving over to the dollar finally showing a little bit of weakness with the first big red bar since all the way back here on the 30th. Hit the 200, turns out that was resistance. You can see basically straight down from there. Trend support around the 103.29 level, and then below that 102.98. Realistically, this is probably going to fall into that 102 area. And if this does have a decent move, that could give equities a little bit of strength, at least here for the short term. Moving over to the VIX, you can see the VIX did break through some of those levels, headed towards support here at 17.8. We thought this was going to continue to fall, and sure enough, it did. Momentum bearish, RSI bearish. Again, support here, we'll see if that holds. Otherwise, we're probably going to head back down to these lower trends somewhere in that 15.5 to 16 area. Moving over to my accounts, it looks like I netted about $500 on the day, which is pretty good, especially because the IWM was down a little bit, so just squeaked out a couple of dollars there, and then the Q's up $3, made most of the money on that. I had puts going into the day, which I sold, which ended up being max profit, and then I did roll out here again to 493 for Monday at $2.50. Could have rolled up for a little bit of a credit, but I actually wanted to stay in the money a little bit more. I'm concerned that we could get another gap down or a little bit of a fall into the Monday. Just because we're in this sideways choppy market, we got an up day. Next one could be down. Seems like that's been the trend. So right now, choppy market, playing it like a choppy market, just trying to squeeze out a few dollars here and there. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of the charts. What do you think of this choppy action? And which way is it going to break? Otherwise, like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.